which I will be talking about the painting. I have found one old book, or let me better explain. It is some kind of tutorial how to use Fractal Design Painter 3. What does it mean? That it is an old book, one of the first books in which it is explained how to use this software. Nowadays there are many softwares, programs that you can use if you want to paint on a computer. Apple or PC. This book was for the Macintosh, but if you have the PC, you can use it also, because it is not a big difference if you are using other computer. But it is interesting that this book is from the year 1995. It is almost 30 years old book. You will see in this video that at the beginning things were not so complicated like today, but you were able with these tools to achieve what you are looking for. So after the first couple of pages, here we are at the contents page. Let me use my trusty wooden stick. In chapter 1, we have introduction and explanation how to install the painter, how to launch the painter, and how to start a work session. In chapter 2, we will be talking about the tools palette. It is not a big book, so you can see that we have chapter 3 at the page 19, in which I will be talking about brushes and paint. Then at page 39 we will be customizing some brushes. Then, at page 57, we will be talking about the color. Chapter 6, Scratching the Surface. In this chapter, we have the papers palette, surface control, and we have also a practice session. Then we have a chapter about selections, masks, and floaters. In chapter 9, we have clones and scanned images. In chapter 9, recording sessions and resizing images. In chapter 10, we have movies and animation. And in chapter 11, we will be learning how to output our art. Then we have section 2, in which we will be seeing some of the artists that are working with a painter. And it will be more or less all what we have in this book. The preface is interesting because it was written by the man who is president, or who was then president and co-founder of Fractal Design Corporation, the company that made this software. I will now go to the first section of this book to show you what it is all about. It will be one rather quick journey. Here we can see what was on the main screen when you were launching the painter. Here, Mark Zimmer and Tom Hedges. Chapter 1, Getting Started in your digital studio. Introduction. Technical considerations, in which we have explanation what system requirements are. Here we have memory Painter will run with 5 megabytes of application RAM, although not terribly efficiently. But Fractal Design Corporation recommends 6 megabytes. And the Painter application takes up only about 4.6 megabytes on your hard drive. And brushes, textures, and other related files can add another 10 megabytes also. If you plan on sending large graphics files to service bureau or printer for output, you may want to investigate the necessity of a high volume transportable system, such as a cartridge drive, 44 megabytes or 88 megabytes. You can see the interesting story about the history of computers. One maybe wonder how it was possible to make anything with 4.6 megabytes today, or what you can do with 44 megabytes cartridge drive. Here we have about the display. A color monitor is recommended, but Painter also works well with a grayscale monitor. Can you imagine this? Painter is designed to run with a 24-bit color board, but an 8-bit board with 256 colors produces adequate results. Also very interesting. A couple of words about input devices. You can create wonderful art using your mouse or a standard tablet, but Painter supports the use of Wacom, Hitachi or Kurta pressure-sensitive graphics tablet. We highly recommend using one. Although you can achieve most of the effects in this book using a standard tablet or a mouse, this book assumes the use of a pressure-sensitive graphics tablet. You must know that in that time, in 1995, it was let's say it's like space technology. Now, you can go in a drugstore and buy a pressure-sensitive graphics tablet. I will show you now that I also have one. One by Wacom. creative pen tablet. So if I decide to paint something with a PC, I have some programs that I can work on. Maybe I will even use a Fractal Design Painter. I will see. Let me open this box. I have USB cable, a pen, and a tablet. On this side, the tablet is red. And here, it is black. What a simple device. Nice box, by the way. I will put this handkerchief to protect it. And I will put tablet back into the box. Alright. Let us continue with our book. After the input devices, we have a couple of words about the output devices. Of course, data printers. And now we will learn here how to install the painter. Here you can see insert the floppy disk labeled Installer Disk 1 into your floppy disk drive. Double click on the Painter installer icon. Then select the Painter 3.0 folder and click Install into Painter 3.0. So as you can see, floppy disk. Today, I wonder how many people remember that there were floppy disks in the past. Then we should launch the Painter. To launch it, you simply double click on the Painter application icon. You see the screen displayed in figure 1.1 here. After we have installed, we will start using the Painter. Once Painter is launched, you can create a new file or work from an existing one. Here we can see how we can save a work session and what file format options we have. Among others, we have TIFF or TIFF, tagged image file format. We have Photoshop. We have encapsulated PostScript. As I can see, we don't have JPEG. After we save working session, we can later open an existing work session, which is obvious. Now we have chapter 2, and the chapter is about the tools palette. Which tools we have? Magnifier tool. Of course, it magnifies. Then we have grabber tool with a little hand, and it is used to move image around. We have rotate page tool, and it was developed to accommodate artists who are used to turning a page as they work. Here we can see these tools. We have dropper tool. Lets you select a color from a paint area to use on another area. Then we have text selection tool, and it adds text to your images. We have two selection tools. One is rectangular selection and the other is oval selection. Then we have brushes tool. also fill tool. It is often referred to as the bucket tool. Lets you apply color to a selected area. And then we have the outline selection and path adjuster tools. The path adjuster tool lets you activate and edit any paths you may have added to your image. Chapter 3 is about brushes and paint. This chapter covers the fundamentals of painter's brushes and art materials palettes. It is the backbone of this software, and let us get right into painting. First we have the brushes palette. To make started, we must be sure that our brushes palette is displayed. And if it is not, select brushes from the Windows menu. Select your brush tool from the Tools palette. Choose a brush from this palette and you are ready to go. To see the full palette, click on the drawer arrow here, directly beneath the middle brush. And to close the drawer, click on the arrow a second time. The brushes palette is shown in this figure. The currently selected brush is shown on the top row with a red border around it. Here we can see it is a pencil. To replace a specific brush on the top row with a brush from the drawer, click on the brush in the drawer. Hold down your cursor button, drag it over the brush you want to replace, and release the cursor button. Let us see which brushes we have. Here we have pencils. We have various types of pencils, from 2B to very fat pencil, color pencils, sharp pencils. Then we have eraser, we have variants for erasers. Then we have water, which we can use to smudge areas created by other tools, or to dilute strokes made by any other tool. We have chalk, we have charcoal, we have pens for calligraphy, for example. We have felt pens, crayons, airbrush, liquid, brushes, although all of the tools on the brushes palette are called brushes. This is traditional brush for oil and acrylic brush painting. We have various types of these brushes. Big loaded oils, big rough out, camel hair brush, fine brush, hairy brush. And many other brushes. This one is interesting. It is called artists. And these variants give you the ability to paint using the brush types of the old masters. It's also Van Gogh. This is the way to get impressionistic results. Flemish rub, impressionists. Seurat. This variant gives you the pointillist technique developed by George Seurat. Here is Van Gogh. This one was Otto Van Gogh. This variant is using a clone, and this is, let's say, more regular Van Gogh. We have cloner brushes. These brushes let you take an existing image, usually a scanned photograph, and apply different types to media to them. We have more brushes. We have watercolor brushes also. Various types of them. Burn increases the saturation of color. The opposite of burn is dodge. We have also masking. And we have image hose. The image hose paints with complete images, not just pigments, spraying the images across your canvas. After the brushes, we come to the color palette. I will read this. 16 million colors. We'll say it again. 16 million colors. And you never run out of them. Now we have one interesting part, and it is a practice session. Here we will see how we can, in fact, paint something. It is time to get down to work. Let's paint. Select New from the File menu and then select the default settings in the New Picture Size dialog box by pressing Return. Second step. Select the Sharp Pencil variant from the Brushes palette and Black from the Colors palette. Now, sketch the outline of a cow. Step 3. Select the Artist Pastel variant of the chalk brush. Open the Pastels color set from the Art Materials palette and choose a pale color for the cow's body. Start filling in your outline. Then select a darker color for shadowed areas and apply that to the undersides of the cow. Step 4. Use the feather tip airbrush variant to add some pink to the muzzle, udder and ears. Add some tan to the horns and the tip of the tail. Step 5. Airbrush some black spots on the cow. Then add details to the eyes, nose and hooves using the single pixel pen tool. And the last step for our practice session is to add some green grass around the cow's hooves by using the piano keys variant of the artist brush. And now we have finished painting. We have learned how to use Fractal Design Painter. We have painted our first painting. Very nice. After this a bit comprehensive explanation of the basic tools of the Fractal Design Painter, I will go quickly in the other parts of this book. Here in chapter 4 we can learn how to customize brushes. For example, method determines the nature of our brush strokes. We have build-up method, cover method, eraser method, drip method, for example. Here are some examples of some methods. Then we have, of course, brush size. We have depth spacing, and it controls whether a brush stroke is continuous are made up of a series of tabs. We have also rig settings. While palette shown this figure adjusts the amount of a paint held on the brush. We have expression sliders, and this sliders palette controls how our brushes interact with paper texture, color density and stroke width. You can save brushes that we made. You can make custom brush shapes. And here we also have one practice session. After the brushes, we have now in chapter 5 a color. Here we can learn how to use primary and secondary colors. What is RGB, HSV or CMYK colors. We can also clone colors. We have gradient fills. Here we have Grads palette with a library drawer open. Here we have some fills. We have cartoon cell fills, and it allows us to fill an area enclosed by line art. We have various color sets. Here we can see color set of Pantone. We can also annotate the colors. This feature labels colors in our image based on the names in a color set. And these annotations float over our image and can be even saved. And here, at the end of this chapter, is also one practice session. In chapter 6, we are talking about the paper texture and surface control. We have various types of papers possible to use. We can apply paper grain to an image. We can also change the color of our image or our paper. And when we are talking about the surface control, we have a section on texture, and it learns us how to apply grains and textures to the surface of an image. For example, dye concentrations adjust the intensity of a color on all or just on a selected part of an image. We can sharpen, soften, or motion blur our image. These are various types of distortions that are today, let us say, normal when we're doing something. But we must remember that it is one of the first painting softwares ever. So upon this, everybody make their own softwares later on. It is the crucial, it is the beginning. Here we have a practice session in which we can use all we have learned in this chapter to draw a dog and color it. Then we have chapter 7 with selections, masks and floaters. This part with outline selection tool is quite different than the, let's say, more regular way of painting with the brushes. This tool works like the pen tools in illustration programs. And here we can use this tool to draw freehand of Bezier paths. It also has a straight line mode. I think that it is a different part of the painting method that can be used, but the things that we talked before are more natural if you are a painter to use. Masking is also possible. You can edit the paths here. I was never so big fan of this part of but it is useful to know this. I prefer more these traditional ways of painting. Here, it is explained how to use masking options. And here we can see how to use the image holes, or how to make our prepared image into the floater palette. You can see image holes. With this you can draw with your images as you are drawing with a regular brush. And here we have practice session. See, masking. And you can again make some interesting things with it. Then in chapter 8 we have clones and scanned images. A clone is an exact copy of an image used to metamorphose images to any medium. Although it seems complicated, it is a simple process. Then I have cloner brush variants, so you can clone it with variations. And now, in chapter 9, we can learn how to record session and how to resize our images. Movies and animation in chapter 10. Here it is written that you can use any painter tools and special effects to enhance any movie or animation, or to create your own. You can create a movie and you can paint each frame of your movie. Interesting. In chapter 11, we can see how to output our art. Here is a dialog box with exporting options. Image resolution and size, printing, output options, thermal wax transfer printers. Who knows what it is? Dye sublimation printers. Printing directly to canvas. how it is interesting. You paint something and bring it to the canvas like it is an original painting. And then after section 1, in which we get the knowledge how to use this software, in section 2 we have possibility to look at some arts made by actual artists. Dennis Orlando, Wheel of Pond. In this section we can see artist's profile, how the artist use the painter, and some works of this artist. And even here, step by step, the artist explained to us how the art is made up. And at the end, we can see the portfolio of the artist. This one is interesting, flowers in light and shadow. I like it. The other artist that we have here is Denise Devenuti. And this painting is called Circles. Profile, how she's using painter, step by step of the work. It is so very valuable information. You can see how actual artist is using painter to make their work. And here some other paintings of these artists. Very nice colors. In chapter 14 we have Gary Clark. As we said, profile and techniques. And then one more time, step-by-step instructions. And portfolio. And this one is interesting. Dorothy Simpson Crows, The Golden Apple. Profile. Step by step. This combination of scanned images and work in the software. Kai's Power Tools Gradient Designer. portfolio. Interesting. Then we have David Locke Higgins or Higgins with Alaskan brown pen. We can see step-by-step process and also other animals that this artist made. Interesting. Then we have Carrie Gavin. Step-by-step instructions. And portfolio. Halloween. Interesting. This I like. Susan Lemon, The Quiet Conversation. Step-by-step instructions. I like abstract paintings. And this one is very interesting to me. And it's also in her portfolio. 2 heads. Yeah, I like it. Okay, it was more or less everything that I wanted to show you. Now at the end of this book we have extensions and third-party software. We have command key shortcuts. We have add-on libraries, upgrading nodes, glossary, and index at the end. With this, I will finish today's video.